Week number 1 in the NFL is finally upon us, and I've got 6 picks for you. I'm Professor MJ, a university statistics professor, and I'm here to help you maximize your sports betting profits. Right off the bat, I've got a great betting angle that's been doing wonders historically in week number 1. Here it goes. Bet a team facing a divisional opponent against which they lost both meetings the year before. Let's call it the week number 1 double division revenge factor. Over the past 10 years, this strategy led to an astounding 22-10 record against the spread, a 68.8% win rate. And this week we've got 5 teams meeting this criterion for betting. Out of those, there's one squad I won't bet for different reasons, while the other 4 are all part of my weekly picks. So without further ado, let's get started with the 6 picks I'm betting this week. We are starting very strong, already with a 5-star play. Pick number 1, rated 5 stars, goes to the Arizona Cardinals, plus 7 points at the San Francisco 49ers. First of all, the Cards represent a good bet, according to the double division revenge strategy described earlier. Arizona lost 28-25 at home and 36-26 on the road against the Niners last year. Secondly, teams who had a losing record the year before, facing a team that had a winning record, tend to do very well in week number 1. Indeed, they have gone 89-57 against the spread since 1990, a 61% win rate. Arizona finished with a 5-10-1 record last year versus 13-3 for San Francisco. Thirdly, the betting public could be overlooking the injury bug that's been hitting the 49ers recently. At wide receiver, the team is in trouble. Deebo Samuel is either out or will be on a snap count due to a foot injury. Now, following the departure of Emmanuel Sanders to New Orleans, who was set to become their number 2 guy? The answer was not clear to begin with, and things got even worse in the past few weeks. Travis Benjamin, Jalen Hurd, and Tavon Austin are all out. Now, rookie Brandon Ayuk was projected to be the starter opposite Samuel, but he's also hurt, and his status for week number 1 is uncertain. Kendrick Bourne and or Trent Taylor might need to be more involved in the game, which is hardly good news for San Francisco. The defense also has numerous guys who are questionable or banged up. Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, Dee Ford, and Quan Williams. Now, for these reasons, I'm going to back the Arizona Cardinals. Now, in their second year in the NFL, QB Kyler Murray and head coach Cliff Kingsbury should be more comfortable. I would not fall off my chair if Arizona won the game outright. As you saw in my 49ers 2020 preview, I'm afraid their 2019 season was a fluke. Pick number 2, which is rated 4 stars, goes to the Washington football team, plus 6.5 points against the Philadelphia Eagles. In 2019, Washington lost both matchups with the Eagles, 32-27 in Philly and 37-27 in DC. In other words, the double division revenge betting angle applies here. Also, who likes to put his money on a team that finished 3-13 a year ago? Only contrarians like myself do. Injuries have already taken a toll on Philly's roster. Alshon Jeffrey is out, and rookie Jalen Reagor is questionable but likely out as well. That leaves the team with 33-year-old Deshaun Jackson, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, and Greg Ward as starters. Not good. The organization also lost two key pieces on their offensive line: stud right guard Brandon Brooks and left tackle Andre Dillard. Ouch. That's not it. Starting safety Will Parks is out, while Javon Hargrave, a beast on the defensive line, is banged up with a pectoral strain. And finally, running back Miles Sanders will be in the lineup, but a hamstring injury is bothering him. I was close to rating it 5 stars, but one factor stopped me from pulling the trigger on this one. I don't like the fact that Washington has a new head coach, a new offensive coordinator, and a new defensive coordinator. That's far from ideal in week number 1. Pick number 3, which is rated 3 stars, goes to the Detroit Lions, -3 points against the Chicago Bears. Once again, we've got the double division revenge betting strategy on our side. Indeed, Detroit lost 20-13 in Chicago and 24-20 at home last season against the Bears. Starting running back David Montgomery is likely out or limited. The backups are Tariq Cohen, Cordarrelle Patterson, Ryan Nall, and Artavis Pierce, who have combined for 83 carries last year. I liked Cohen a lot early in his career, but he was playing awful last year. I do believe the Lions are an underrated team who could explode this year. They have much more talent than you would think. Matthew Stafford has been great throughout his career, but he doesn't get the credit he deserves because his teams have done badly. The Lions' defense has a lot of new faces: Danny Shelton, Nick Williams, Jamie Collins, Desmond Trufant, Duron Harmon, and number 3 overall pick, Jeffrey Okudah. They are likely to lift this unit, but how much time will it take to gel? That's one of the reasons why this pick is not rated higher. It's time for my 4th pick, which is rated 3 stars. It goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, laying 3 points at the Carolina Panthers. The COVID-19 virus forced the NFL to shorten its training camps and to cancel all preseason games. That's likely to have 2 big impacts. Impact number 1, it will have a big effect on week number 1 totals. Now you should check out my video discussing this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Impact number 2, teams with more continuity will have a big advantage over teams who don't. In other words, having the same coaching staff and the same core players will provide a huge advantage. Now this second point favors the Raiders in a big way over the Carolina Panthers. So on one hand, Las Vegas retained the same coaching staff, while Carolina has a new head coach, a new OC, and a new DC. What makes it even worse is these 3 guys have just 7 years of combined NFL experience. To put things in perspective, the team with the second lowest NFL experience among its coaches has 31 years behind the belt. So there's an overwhelming gap between Carolina and any other squad. The Panthers may also be the team that had the largest player turnover this offseason. On offense, they have a new QB, Teddy Bridgewater, a new number 2 wide receiver, Robbie Anderson, a new starting tight end with Greg Olsen leaving the franchise, and 2 or 3 new starters on the offensive line. Now, as for the defense, the unit lost Gerald McCoy, Donta Ripo, Bruce Irvin, Mario Addison, Luke Kuechly, and James Bradbury. And I'm even omitting a few more players that are now off the team. That's unreal. So I'm taking the more stable Raiders team since Carolina might be lacking cohesion and timing on both sides of the ball. I'm going to go over the final 2 picks very quickly, but you can go on my website at professormj.com for my full blog post. Pick number 5, rated 2 stars, goes to the Minnesota Vikings, minus 2.5 points against the Green Bay Packers. Again, the double division revenge factor comes into play. And also, the Packers defense struggled against the run last year, which happens to be Minnesota's strength, with Dalvin Cook leading the way. Finally, pick number 6, rated 1 star, goes to the Houston Texans, plus 9 at the KC Chiefs on Thursday night. Big underdogs have fared very well in the opening week of NFL regular seasons in the past. Look at these numbers. As a matter of fact, 8+ points underdogs have gone 43 and 25 against the spread in recent years in week number 1. That's a 63.2% winning play. Now don't go away, I've got a very important message. Coming soon, a brand new feature, Early NFL Picks. I will post shortly a very important video about the importance of placing NFL bets very early in the week, as opposed to waiting until Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Accordingly, I'm going to send out early NFL picks as soon as the following week's lines are posted by sportsbooks. You'll get a chance to receive those plays via a mailing list. Details will come in a video within a few days. It's also possible, time permitting, that I'll come back with picks on player proposition bets. Those plays were very lucrative last year. Until then, subscribe to my YouTube channel to get this gold mine of information. I'm Professor MJ. Are you ready for some football, man?